Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As we welcome you once again to the airwaves of Salam Media on this Wednesday evening. And this means in conversation with myself, Inayat Wadi. We welcome our listeners, our viewers on the various platforms of Salam Media. We trust and hope that you've had a wonderful day. And while we are obviously focusing still on what is taking place in Iran and the fragile ceasefire, our focus tonight is going to be on Lebanon. Now, this obviously has come after Amal Khalil, a veteran Lebanese journalist for the daily newspaper Al-Akhbar, was killed by an Israeli airstrike just about a week ago, and that was last week on Wednesday. And it was clear when one looks at the details of the incident where Amal and her colleague, photographer Zainab Faraj, were reporting on an earlier Israeli airstrike and it destroyed their vehicle. They sought shelter in a nearby house. This was subsequently hit by a second strike. And also in terms of the obstruction of the rescue effort. So the outcome was Amal Khalil remained trapped under the rubble for 7 hours before her body could even be recovered and she was pronounced dead on the scene. Now, we've seen some of the official responses. We've seen the Prime Minister, Nawaf Salam, describing the incident as a war crime and a deliberate and consistent target of journalists. We've seen this in Gaza as well, where hundreds of journalists have been killed as well. And in the case of Amal, like we've seen in the case of many Palestinian journalists as well, receiving death threats, and she received this in 2024, warning her to leave southern Lebanon. And she spent somewhat about 2 decades, over 20 years, covering the conflicts in southern Lebanon. And it is against this background that this evening we are talking to my guest, Salam El-Zaatari. And he is a Lebanese producer, a director, a writer, and a political satirist known for his work in media and commentary on local affairs. He is recognized for hosting podcasts, TV shows, and for providing critical insights into Lebanese society and politics. And also at the same time, looking at some of the media roles that he has. He has a strong online presence as well. And his political commentary is very, very interesting. So coming across from Lebanon, from Beirut, we are joined now by my guest, Salam El-Zaatari.
Yes. Hello. Hi, Elaine. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, welcome to Salam, and wonderful that you're able to join us this evening. Now, clearly, there is just so much to talk about when it comes to Lebanon, and I know, there has been a lot of focus on what is taking place in southern Lebanon at this point in time. But just before we talk about Lebanon, the mere fact and the killing of Amal Khalil, I'm sure more shockwaves that have been sent through through Lebanon, and also the media as well, and particularly for people like yourself as well, Salam.
Yes. This is some. This for Lebanon. It's not new. Israel. We know that Israel kills journalists that usually are. They consider them enemies if they sided with the Palestinian cause or they were anti-Zionists. And in the case of Amal, because she worked for a newspaper that is very close to Hezbollah, they considered her as an enemy. Although there's no, this is clearly a war crime, and you cannot kill any journalist who's been covering. The thing is with the Amal case is that they followed her and they tried to kill her many times. They failed a couple of times, and then she went into hiding, and then they hit her, and she was killed. The problem is also, to be fair, that she was behind the enemy lines, and she has been warned to leave. Uh, I don't know exactly why. What happened? She was cornered, and she had to go back inside the village and hide. And this is where the hunt started. They started hunting her, and then they eventually killed her. Israel has killed 260 journalists. 16 of them are Lebanese. uh, 250 or 245 approximately were Palestinians. So this is not something new, but uh, but then again, this is very reoccurrent all the time during wars with Israel. So and knowing that the international law protects journalists, or there's charter for journalism and war covering, but Israel do not respect that, and they consider journalists that are covering um, against them, or just relaying the truth to the audience, usually are considered a threat. So yeah, it is. It's a tragedy.
Well, it certainly has been a tragedy. It's again another innocent life that has been lost. But Salam, let's talk about Lebanon. And obviously, Lebanon has been bearing the brunt of the conflicts for a very, very long time in the region. And just looking at how Lebanon fits into the whole political landscape of the region. On the one side, obviously Israel as well, but also bearing the brunt of a lot more. We know that Lebanon is home to many, many Palestinian refugees as well. And on the other side, obviously, you've got the Iranian proxy, you've got Hezbollah operating as well within Lebanon. And if we wanted to actually paint a picture of Lebanon and what Lebanon had to go through over a period of time, over the decades, and how this has impacted on Lebanon, how would you describe it, Salam?
I think we are the only country that paid a hefty price uh, for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Uh, Lebanon has always been a ground for proxies for other countries, and it's always been in a state of war. And whenever there was peace, Lebanon thrived. Whenever there was a ceasefire or a break, or whatever you want to call it, with Israel, Lebanon thrived. And maybe Lebanon thriving is a threat, is a threat to a lot of its neighboring countries, because it's such a beautiful country, beautiful people, diversified. Everyone is a fighter here, from all sects, all religions. They protect the land no matter what is the cost, no matter who is the enemy, if it was from the north or the south. But the thing is, now Lebanon is at a crossroad, and people are divided. This is the absolute truth and facts on the ground. A lot of Lebanese want to this. They're tired. They just want peace at any cost. Other factions, they don't want peace at any cost. They want peace that to be fair. And there's the Iranian proxy Hezbollah that uh, throughout is considered resistance until the liberation of the South, and then later on went into politics. And I think this is when mistakes started happening, because um, fighting for your land is something sacred. Defending your land is definitely sacred, but when you go into politics, this is where the devil lay. So internally, a lot of things happened that throughout the years, throughout time, lost the support of the Lebanese because of the actions and how it was portraying certain issues internally, governing issues. So, but now here's the split. I mean, defending your land is a right, is a sacred right, but at the same time, loyalty should be to the land and not to another country. You can use other countries for backup, support, military, or whatever, but the loyalty or the decision should be always a Lebanese decision. And this is where the conflict started in Lebanon. And now the government wants to do peace, yet there's a lot of blood still in the battlefield. There's a lot of civilians that were killed, babies, families, plus Hezbollah fighters. So the timing, probably the pressure now is what people are complaining about. A lot of people are saying that you can't just talk peace negotiations now while people are dying. War has to stop, ceasefire. Plus, Israel has occupied uh, 55 villages in the southern of Lebanon, and they were treated just like Gaza. They demolished all buildings. It's a horrible. The south is a beautiful land and beautiful villages, old houses. There's a lot of history there.
Yes, I think we have lost Salam. Hopefully, we
By the
will
IDF.
try and get hold of Salam
And
once
people are
again. Maybe.
scared because the IDF or Israel, they were not going to let a lot of the citizens who lived there, especially if they were related to Hezbollah, to come back to their villages, not for a long time. And this is going to create a very a serious internal problem for the Lebanese government and the Lebanese themselves. No one knows if they're going to return. No one knows now if Israel is going to just do that. They did that buffer zone for 10 kilometers. Probably they will bite a bit more. And every time something happens, they will bite a bit more and a bit more and a bit more until militarily they succeed to enter and occupy a big chunk of southern Lebanon until they find a solution, a permanent solution. So we are in it now, even though the war on Iran has stopped or being halted or just break, let's say break now. It's not, I don't think here, even though there's negotiations between the going to be a full ceasefire. Uh, so I think more of the operations are going to continue from the IDF side, more assassinations until they reach an agreement. I don't know what sort of an agreement, but a lot of Lebanese or Hezbollah supporters or Hezbollah do not agree on the. Sorry. Basically, this is now a very critical situation because this life of the president and the prime minister, because they are asking for direct negotiations and peace negotiations, usually what happens historically is that the president or the prime minister who asks for such a thing gets assassinated. So everyone is afraid of this because probably Israel would assassinate them themselves and then put it on Hezbollah. So you know how politics works here in the region. But now everyone there's tiresome. Like everyone is really tired of the war, and this is what Israel wants. They want everyone to be tired so they can give up. And there's a group of people now saying, okay, we want peace, but we want it with good conditions and fair conditions. Israel is saying no conditions because they have the power and the military power. So it's either a complete surrender or not, or a complete obliteration of Lebanon. So we are at a very dangerous crossroad now. It's either we go into unfair peace negotiations or we will continue the war and eventually they will have the peace negotiations on different terms, probably harsher terms. So it's not looking good now for Lebanon because internally we are divided and externally there's that threat of the Israeli threat. But with this, the Americans are the buffer now between both. But you know, America always supports Israel. So, but there's that vibe here that America wants Lebanon for itself. You know, they want
Mhm.
it to be as like their 52nd state. So this way they have two arms now in the Middle East. One is Israel, the second is Lebanon. But they
Well,
can't
Salam,
control Israel, but they can control Lebanon.
what you're
So
saying is very,
it's not
very
up to us.
interesting.
My opinion do not matter. None of the Lebanese people's opinion do matter. No matter how much we raise that voice, what's going to happen? It's going to happen. We're not in control. And
Yes. Uh, Salam, I saw, I've noticed that obviously you're broken up again. So I'm sure he's going to reconnect again. And obviously, we need to apologize for that breakup in communication. But we know the situation at this point in time is not good as far as Lebanon is concerned. One can actually understand, particularly when it comes to connectivity issues as well. But we certainly will be trying to get hold of him once again. I'm sure he will try and reconnect as well, even if it's going to be on audio, because possibly with the bandwidth and trying to be on video as well, it does affect the broadcast. But it's interesting to see what Salam Al-Zaatari has actually written over a period of time. And I must say his writings are very, very interesting, where he spoke about a number of issues where in the past he's written about the question of loyalty and reality as far as Lebanon is concerned as well, and also in terms of the internal political dynamics and the role of Hezbollah as well. So what we will do is we're going to try and get hold of Salam Al-Zaatari once again, but for now we'll go for a quick air break and we'll be back.
Across Sudan, starvation is tightening its grip. With rising food prices and widespread malnutrition, 8.7 million people are now facing emergency or famine-level hunger. As the conflict intensifies and aid routes narrow, families in Sudan are running out of options and time. The Al-Imdad Foundation is delivering life-saving humanitarian aid to those most at risk. Stand with Sudan. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031-208-9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Elite Basmati, available throughout the Middle East, and now for the very first time exclusive to South Africa. Brought to you by Murchison Spice, Pietermaritzburg's most famous specialty store. Elite Basmati, available in aromatic white and golden cellar, is packaged in a world-class facility in India and is filled with wholesome goodness for your well-being. Elite Basmati rice by Murchison Spice. For trade inquiries, contact Mohammed on 033 387 2121. Murchison Spice.
Operation Kurbani. Maulana Timor will once again be taking a trip abroad for Kurbani. Many people in the villages live well below the poverty line and only eat meat on the days of Eid al-Adha. Support this cause at 2,170 Rand for 7 shares or 310 Rand per share. Contact Maulana Timur, Maulana Sajjad, Maulana Hamad or Maulana Abbad on 011 852 6324 or 072 299 9268 or 082 368 6866 or 072 697 0131 or 073 576 9786. All slaughtering will be supervised by a team of foreign and local ulama. Visit www.operationqurbani.org.za.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic, Sharia, and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
More than 800 million people around the world live in deep poverty, uncertain of where the next meal will come from. For those on the brink of starvation, a food pact means survival, dignity, and hope. Send food, send kindness. Be the reason a family does not go hungry. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
Hey Gulam.
Yeah?
Did I return your lawnmower last month?
No, bye, you didn't.
Oh no. Now what'll I do? I wanted to borrow it again, man.
With Randry Jewelers, you won't have to borrow or lend because the prices are so well trimmed on all gold and diamond jewelry. Alternatively, we could remake your old jewelry into a brilliant new design. Visit Randry Jewelers at 151 Stevens Lamini Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randry Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda. Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
Well, we continue with our broadcast this evening, but unfortunately, we seem to be battling to get hold of Salam El-Zaatari once again. Apparently, he has sent out an apology that his area and the network is very, very poor. We're going to try and get hold of him on an audio line, which hopefully will be a lot more effective. But once again, I think the gist of the discussion we were going to have with him was the whole issue surrounding the internal political dynamics as far as Lebanon is concerned, and also taking a deeper look and an insight into the role of Hezbollah in the Lebanese political landscape. And we all know by now that Hezbollah obviously has consolidated its power and in Lebanon, and both from a political perspective and also in terms of a support base, particularly in the south as well. And Hezbollah had actually made it very, very clear that they would confront Israel to protect their people. And but what has actually happened since then is, since Hezbollah got into the war after the attack on Iran, is we've seen this mass exodus of their support base, leaving from South Lebanon and also the southern suburbs of Beirut. And we have seen the images of cars fleeing war zones in very, very slow, long convoys, many people carrying a few essentials, people panicking because they have to basically pack in minutes. Some obviously have been heading out to Beirut, others have been going to Mount Lebanon or some of the other coastal towns. But when they arrive at these places, doors that once opened quickly for them are opening more slowly this time around. And there is just absolutely nowhere to go, because many families used to make use of schools. And we saw that even in the 2024 attack that had taken place as well. Now we find that the schools are not reopening as shelters for those who are displaced. So many displaced residents have been, looking for shelters, and also one looks at the exploitation that is taking place. We've heard about rents that are skyrocketing overnight because of the huge demand. And a country like Lebanon, as my guest Salam spoke about, he says they've endured so much displacement so many times before. But we've seen that with the whole question of Israel and the attack as well, and families that have been displaced for well over a year. We've seen even in the past where many times families have been displaced, and the second time round, what they've done is they've rebuilt their homes after previous war, only to abandon them again. So it's basically an ongoing scenario as far as this is concerned. And I think what we need to do, all we can do, is just watch videos of some of these street interviews that are taking place on social media. And people are starting to wonder what is happening. When is this actually going to end? And this is a trend that has been unfolding for a very, very long time. And again, from a political perspective and looking at the internal political dynamics that have been playing out in Lebanon as well, we've seen governments come and go. And the latest is with regards to the talks that are taking place that America is facilitating between Israel and Lebanon. But as Salam was talking about earlier on as well, is America has got quite an agenda as well as far as Lebanon is concerned, but also more so looking at Israel. And this is a question that I wanted to raise from him as well, is how does Lebanon actually fit into the greater Israeli project? But unfortunately, it is problematic. We can't seem to be getting hold of him, and we obviously will continue trying. But for now, we're going to go for a break. But just to remind you that at 8 p.m., we have got quite an interesting discussion coming up with regard to the Gaza municipal elections. We're going to be unpacking those elections and why the world. The question is, what impact is this likely to have on the people of Gaza? We've seen Mahmoud Abbas, we've seen Fatah talking about a sweeping win in the election in terms of its outcome, but there are even huge question marks with regard to the number of people that have voted. And just to give you an idea, in Gaza, it was just basically a certain section of that were allowed to vote. And this consisted of about 70,000 people, of which only 23% had actually cast a vote. So 16,000 out of a population of 2 million had basically voted in Gaza in itself. So we'll be joined by Abdullah Moswis, who is a Palestinian writer, a researcher and an educator, and also Ahmed Ismar, who is a journalist and a PhD candidate in international relations. So Unfortunately, we seem to be battling once again. We must apologize. We were certainly looking forward to the discussion, but considering the situation that Lebanon finds itself in at this point in time, clearly the network is very, very bad, and hopefully at some point in time we will try and reconnect. But for now, we're going to go for a break, and when we come back at around 8 p.m., join us. We're going to unpack Gaza's municipal elections, the results, the outcome, and what does this actually mean for the people of Palestine.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.